welcome to another episode of 10 Talk, where our conversations are on 10 and our personalities are on 100. So, before we get this episode started, we're doing Married at First Sight, Season 11, Episode 12. We have a birthday headquarters in the house. Happy birthday, number 5, Cherie.
Yes.
Hey, the professor.
Hey, Professor.
Hey, y'all. Hello.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
And what I want all y'all, before we get started, thank y'all so much. I want all our lovely supporters to get down here, blow the comments up for my birthday, please. Share the love, comment, like, subscribe, share. Just share the joy.
Happy birthday. Come on, guys.
Okay, period. And it's also the official day that we've all been waiting for. Bennett and Amelia have shared I love yous.
Woo! I'm very excited.
Sabrina, fix your face.
That's what I was like, Sabrina face drop when you said that. What you got to say, Sid?
All I know is they was talking to Ducks, asking for birds. They was stretching, and
that waiter really was like, "I'll see what I can do." Boy, if you don't just tell them no.
As much as I love them, I was like, you know what? This is where I get off. I love y'all, and y'all have a great day over there.
When they was going through the woods, and Amelia did a little.
Yo, I thought it was so funny because right when she did that, under it popped up Amelia, a medical doctor, and I was like.
We all know she's pure crazy, okay? But I love it. And this was also the first time where we saw Bennett's friend not look like a jealous, hateful person. Did you guys?
mean at the tarot cards?
That was
that's his sister. That's his sister.
Oh. Never mind. Well, I still think the friend wants him on that note then, because I really thought that was the friend.
No.
But Sharif, how did you feel about them sharing I love yous?
It's very great. I think that in a way, it's like you can tell in a sense how they feel about each other. Of course, we don't know the full extent of anything that goes on. But watching, you just kind of know, and sometimes you feel like things are just they can go unspoken because it's being communicated so very clearly. You know what's understood don't always need to be explained. But it's just hearing the I love
you. You tell.
But just like hearing the I love you, especially from like our two eclectic parts of this couple who we've seen, and we know they have those like deep feelings, and they like definitely share a connection that is unlike arguably any of the couples on the show. It's just especially beautiful to me. It really makes my heart warm.
Yes, heart was warm. Okay, speaking of heart being warm, we're going to stay positive for a little while. So this was their 1 month anniversary for all the couples from when they first got married. And the experts sent them different like care packages with wedding photos, videos, wedding, like things from their wedding, things to make them think about each other, their vows printed out. Who do you think had the best like reaction or response to getting those gifts for their 1 month anniversary? And who was your favorite?
I really like Ben and Amelia's kind of response to it. It was really nice to watch them talk about it so candidly. They're definitely, I feel like watching it would definitely be like funny for them. It's like, you know how like with all the couples, it looked awkward when I at least felt awkward rewatching these moments with some of them. But with them, it's just like, oh, that's so great. It's just nice. They like have real good. They were real good with it. They have real good energy. They were very affirming still in this 1 month. It's really showing that they're taking this process as it's supposed to be taken. They're not really necessarily looking at marriage as like a means to an end, but they're really like trying to find someone they can build a future with and they can like regenerate happiness with.
Definitely.
Yes. I also liked Woody and Amani's because they're great. Yeah, like, they joke around, they have fun. They're just very positive. I like that.
They're very playful, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Woody was like, "Look at my wife, I'm fine."
When he kissed the album, I said, "Oh my god, sir."
If they would have showed like everybody watching the video, that would have been fun. I was just upset. I wanted to see how Woody and Amani react to their video, the way they was getting crunk at that wedding. But yeah, and I also wanted to see everybody talking like crap about Christina. Like, roll that clip, roll what Henry's friends was saying behind her back.
Yeah, that was entertaining, really entertaining. How do you feel, Sabrina, about them printing out Karen and Miles' vows and putting them in a frame?
Lame, but I'm not sentimental, so I'd have been like, "What is this? Is there money behind this?"
That's why I asked you, because you're not sentimental.
Okay. I'd be like, "Where's the money? Where's the gift? I'd be so confused. I know what I said. I said it on the set when I said it. So why we gotta write it? What?
Yeah, I think it's cute, but like, I would much rather have pictures. Like, I don't need. I wrote these vows. I know what they say.
Cash gifts. Thank you.
Money. Run me the check, okay? Okay, so what about the boring, annoying, horrible people and Christina saying that this reminds me of when we were happier before we met each other when they were looking.
I was like, did not say that. I didn't even hear it. I was because there was something else happening, but I looked at the captions and I said, she said, what? Ooh, I was like, she didn't. That was trifling. That was so. I mean, it's kind of true, but still.
I'm gonna be honest too. I'm gonna be honest real quick. I would have expected that more coming from Henry, if I'm being honest. I know that she can be the a-hole. She could be the a-hole. We know this.
Spit it out.
I was trying to be nice.
I was trying to be a little cordial, but
we're on a limited time.
She could be the a-hole. But I really didn't expect her to stoop to that. And I know she said it was joking after, but that joke feels like a joke that's rooted in truth.
That part. All jokes are not funny.
She not funny.
Bruh, I thought it was because Henry acknowledged it. She was like, I know I'm dry. I know I'm monotone. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you understand. I'm glad you realize.
But Henry wasn't being as dry or monotone when his homegirl came over. I was like, okay, Henry, he's talking to his friend.
And Christina, when her friend came over, I was like, who is this?
Who is this person? When that guy was over there, same thing. I was like, who is this girl? Harper, who is this woman?
Henry don't like her because he doesn't feel like she's a nice person, because every time she say we're both nice people, he be looking like, well, one of us here is a nice person. I don't know who we is. We speaking French now. Henry is like, no ma'am, I am the nice one. You're the jerk.
The lie detector tested her. That was a lie.
And I remember when she was talking to her friend, she was like, I feel like he knows I'm a good person. I'm like, you do? Huh? Interesting.
Very interesting. They just need to. I wish we could just I know Sabrina would say, can we skip some of these couples? I really wish we could just have a button as the viewers at home, be like, you are goodbye. Just click them away. I don't want to follow them anymore. They need to call it quits now because they're not getting
boring. Be gone.
We need a smart resume for all the scenes that include Woody and Harper, and then because that's all I wanted.
I just want to click a button and they fall through a trap door that we don't.
like they're not gonna make it. She's not going to become a better person. Henry over it. It's nobody like her. They can go. If I was Henry, I'd have packed up my little suitcase, my wine bottles, my glasses. I'd been gone. You and Alette quarantine hit me and be in that house with her. Nope.
Oh yeah, I'm worried for these couples come quarantine.
Next episode, I'm excited. I must be watching with my popcorn.
Okay, I wanted to ask you guys if you noticed that Christina said that she was going to stop comparing Brett, Henry, all the boring couples are all the same. That she's going to stop comparing him to her ex. I don't think that's going to happen.
She got problems because he isn't assertive, and that's just going to stay being a problem because he's not assertive. Like, that's just...
One of them just needs to have their little "oh sorry" lemonade moment. They just need to leave a note in the hallway. By the time you read it, I'll be far away.
You know,
Oh my lord.
Stefan, I definitely agree with you 100%. Let's move along to the conversation that Woody and Amani had about their budgeting. Now, let's keep in mind that Woody lives with his grandmother. So what do you guys think about him proposing $150 a week dates as well as $1,000 a month shopping sprees?
I would just
It's
like to
like
say right now, if I had $1,000 to shop every month, I'd be pretty happy.
Shoo. But yeah, it's like Amani said, y'all don't need all that for every date night. That's not necessary.
She'll
Sabrina,
You gotta show what's going on over there.
You guys know that I don't believe in like let's go to the park dates. No, let's not go to the park. Let's go get something to eat at a nice restaurant. I mean, if I'm going like we just out and about and we stop at a restaurant and get some food, no, I don't have to have like a super extravagant, but I'm gonna order everything I want on the menu and I'm gonna sit there and eat it. But if you taking me on a date, you better get ready to spend at least $150 or more. Period. So I don't and let your husband spend money on you. I don't find a problem with that. Now, when it comes to the clothes, if you spending $1,000, I need both of them to dress a little bit better, and that's all I'm gonna say.
oh,
And maybe he needs to like take some of that money and spend it on getting his hair braided. You know, like compromise.
you've been hating on Woody's.
No, you know what I really think? Because he even said, if I get $500, all I can get is a shirt and some pants. I'm like, what are you shopping for? Because clearly you
He's
like.
shopping at Neiman's. He's shopping at Neiman's.
But he's a teacher. I'm trying to understand this because teachers don't make that much money. Not to be a pocket walker, but you know.
That is not
That's
it.
what I'm
And they
saying.
should make more money, but like anyways.
Be able to afford your lifestyle. That's all I'm saying. So if that's what he wanted to do, then he needs to make it feasible for her to feel financially comfortable and him to do what he want to do, or he gonna have to learn how to shop at the Old Navy or the what's it, the H&M.
He
gonna have to
go
learn how to
adapt.
compromise.
Adapt. Because sometimes he'll be looking good and sometimes he'll be looking tacky. It's like he got just too much going on in one outfit. And it's like, okay, you can remove one item and you can look nice and don't have to spend that much money.
You're right. You know what? No more Neiman Marcus. You, like we just said, you gotta adapt. Let's start with the Gap or something.
Or maybe instead of going to Neiman Marcus, or you can maybe stick to Neiman Marcus and maybe it's a quarterly thing. So instead of a monthly thing, it's a quarterly thing. If that's just your style and you really like it, maybe not cut it out all the way, but just instead of monthly, go quarterly. Go about what is it? Every other month.
See, I am 15 and therefore I have no concept of money, but that seems like a lot of money to be spending on clothes every month. I don't know because again, I don't be spending money, so like I don't. Let's see. What'd you say? Your mic is.
Oh, I was just Sabrina in the corner saying it's not, and we already know Sabrina's lifestyle and her situation. But for a teacher, like
Well,
you're a teacher, you talk about you want to buy a house, but you got all these clothes and you're buying all these expensive clothes. Like, I'm sorry, you can't
he was
afford it.
stacking his money though while he was living with his grandma. But also,
That's
you
true.
know, the boots that I currently want for my birthday, which I am sacrificing for the greater good. I just want y'all to know these are the best boots I've ever seen in my life. They are currently on sale for 600 and some, like 665. If I don't buy these
That's
boots,
what we're
I have
talking
been,
about.
if I do not buy these boots, that means I have been delivered and I am a
Oh
new
my
person.
gosh.
I am
She's
really
buying
trying.
She's buying
$600.
I'm not gonna do it, but
She's buying boots.
trying.
She's
Anyway, back to Woody. My boots, though, they multifunctional.
Okay, so after Woody and Amani, after like Amani just got her flowers and then they ate it or whatever, they had the dog talk. And my question is that do you guys feel like the dog should be outside or inside?
It depends on the person. Obviously, Sabrina gonna say outside. Sabrina gonna say I don't want a dog. Sabrina. And like, Woody don't want a dog anyways.
While we're on the topic of the dog, I want to talk about how hilarious it was when Woody, Amani, Karen, and Miles was at lunch. And Karen was like, so we getting a dog. And Amani looked at Woody like, oh, they are.
And Woody was like, come on. She's like, I forgot.
Do y'all feel like Amani and Karen had like a little phone call conversation and about the dog, and that's why Karen brought it up, Sabrina?
I don't know, but it was funny because I'm like, I don't know how you and Miles getting a dog and y'all don't even like each other that much yet. I think y'all need to maybe focus on the bigger issues. So, I don't know what happened with the conversation, but I was looking at Karen like, y'all go do a what? You can't even give this man a hug regularly. You gonna do a dog?
No, see what gonna happen is he gonna cuddle with the dog instead of her.
He's gonna be like, that dog is a stranger. Get that dog about my house.
I said he. Miles ain't gonna get no love from Karen, so he gonna snuggle with his dog.
Okay, that part. Sharif, how do you feel about the couples getting a dog?
I would first like to say it's not for everyone. It's not for me. I think dogs are fine, but I like to be able to give it back to whoever it belongs to. And I feel like with them, since they got bigger problems to worry about than trying to have a dog, it's like y'all say, they don't even really like each other yet. And I feel like then this dog is going to create more mess. If they don't like each other right now the dog becomes really an asset they're going to have to split later because they are now married.
Well, they said that they were gonna foster a dog, not like they were
Right.
gonna together.
Right.
I mean, so like even if like it's like, well, I get the dog, it's like okay for like another month until it gets adopted.
What was Shaddai saying in the background? He could come to the camera. Shaddai.
Oh, I was just saying that they're going to foster the dog. That was it.
Anyways, Shaddai is our secret operating specialist. He only likes to be on camera when he wants to, okay? Can't make Shaddai do anything.
Honestly, great boundaries. Shaddai has very great boundaries.
That is very true, okay? Shaddai is going to do what Shaddai wants to do, even when I try to attack him with all of my hugs and kisses. Okay, so we're going to move along and we're going to talk about the fact that this is a TV show because sometimes people on the World Wide Web and the fanverse, they talk about, oh, this person's getting a bad edit, that person's getting a bad edit, etc. So how do you guys feel about the conversation between Pastor Cal, Brett, and Olivia, where they brought up how he acts on camera versus how he acts when it's just them two in the house?
That little clip was actually cute. I was like, I don't know if you like that all the time when they're alone, but like they was actually touched, because like he be trying to, put his arm around her or whatever, and she'll be like 4 feet away from him. But I'm like, I don't know. I still don't like him, but
I thought the earth had moved, miracles had happened. I actually agreed with Brett. I was like 3 or 4 times. I was like, you know what? Maybe Brett got points, because honestly, you just have to take his word for it until he show you something different. And like, I think the way they were communicating was bad. I think what Pastor Cal said was valid. And I think Olivia is nitpicking because Brett is not an inserter husband that she pictured for herself. So I still don't like Brett, but I didn't find that he was like that bad this episode. He annoying, but
Yeah, I hate it here because I felt the same way this episode. And I was like, who am I? And why am I watching this thinking like maybe Brett is getting a bad edit? Maybe Brett is trying to present their relationship in a certain way and he's being cognizant that it is a TV show, but I'm like, is he acting? But maybe he's just being thoughtful. Like, it was just like all these thoughts going through my head. And I was actually giving him like the benefit of the doubt. Sharif, what do you feel about? Oh, sorry, Leilani. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to mention this since I wasn't on the last episode. I was watching it early. I didn't finish it. But when he was talking about her in their meeting, like, he really seemed like he was, like, when he was talking about her smile especially, he seemed like he was really, like, into her. Like, he was like, her smile is like the most beautiful thing in the world. And when she gives you that smile that you've earned it, I'm like, that was kind of cute, actually. It was very cheesy, but still.
Sabrina be killing me with her facial expressions. I feel like there's only like 5 screens. We're not getting that bad of a what's it called, feedback. So I feel like you should just unmute because your faces be killing me. Sharif, do you have anything to say about that?
In regards to what Pastor Cal said about Brett and Olivia?
Yeah. Like that whole scene.
It does give you pause. I do think it does cause you to think about it again, because I do think it's hard to really think about the fact that these are like real people being broadcasted on TV. It's like, while we understand that we're watching a show, because it's like based in somebody's actual reality, sometimes it's kind of hard to really remember that, oh, well, the same amount of production still goes into this. Like you would see in, for example, a show like Scandal, for example. So I think it's hard to, and what I mean by that, like, they like edit scenes out, they cut things, they refilm different things to get a certain like viewpoint or certain like aesthetic shot of just the way they interact. So I do think it does make it a little bit easier to find sympathy with Brett. I'm still not there because I'm just kind of like, regardless of how you being edited to look bad, you could still do a little bit better. You're still not helping your case.
I want to know how he think what he doing look good. I'm like, sir, if that's your perception of reality, because the person we saw when he was off camera looked like a better version of himself. So what do you think looks good? Like, what are you trying to portray? Because you look worse on camera. Y'all look dumb on camera. You look a mess. You look abusive, like, wait, verbally. Why are you so insecure? Stuff like that. I'm like, I don't understand what you're trying to portray because it's not working, sir.
It's like almost he's trying to portray like his masculinity, like he's trying to, like, by talking down to her, he's trying to he definitely talks down to her a lot.
He's insecure and he's overcompensating for the cameras. He's dialing it up when he really doesn't have to. See, that's the problem with people who don't like themselves fully. It's like, if you don't like yourself, then you always gonna be held to what you think makes you likable. But when you just like yourself, you don't really have to like try to like turn up your personality. You don't really have to try to like manipulate the way you're perceived, whether through it's like on camera or just in real life. It's like if you like yourself, it don't really matter how other people see you. You're just because you know you're just being true to yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
like, you could tell also that Woody and Amani don't have those problems. They be a little too comfortable in front of the camera, and sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see your wife, but like I wanted them to shift angles. Sometimes I be feeling like I shouldn't be here, like it's my mom and them or something. Like I'm like, Auntie, cover up, Auntie. Like we don't need to see all that.
The head wrap, okay?
Why would and I'm like, you want to spend $1,000 and your do rag look a mess? Like your do rag got lit on. I be so concerned.
Not lit, honey. A lit roll is only $1 at the Dollar Tree, sweet.
Go buy a new do rag.
That's sweets. Everybody said sweets.
So, what do you guys think Olivia meant when she said that when they argued, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. They were just learning how to like navigate, and that like they just have to take time to like kind of chill out and then resume the conversation.
I think she had a point. I think a discussion, Brett be taking it real super personally, and he be getting his feelings hurt, and he don't know how to communicate once his feelings get hurt. So
yeah, and like he even said like your conversations come off as mean, and I'm like, and then she's like, well, your sarcasm can come off as mean, and he's like, when am I sarcastic? What are you talking about? Like,
and then she also said that she becomes defensive once he does that.
Yeah, because when she's trying to communicate her feelings, he's sitting there staring at her with a blank face or a sarcastic face, or like that's why like she gets defensive, he gets defensive, and then nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting actually properly discussed.
And then I think
I also do agree with the whole comment about how it's not necessarily bad to argue or to have those moments where you don't completely meet up, you don't see eye to eye, you don't agree, because then it like shows you, and if anything, it teaches you about how that person works through difficult feelings. It shows you how they work through like feeling frustrated or feeling angry. It can show you how they work through being sad, feeling unsafe, insecure, what have you. I do think it can show you. It also shows you if you can put up with that, or if you're built to like take care of someone in that capacity, in that way. It can show in a way, I think, the love languages they have, and if they're compatible with it, if they can nurture each other the way the other needs to effectively be nurtured for this relationship to succeed or to last.
I'm sorry, Tree. I just like everybody's making faces probably because my screen is going crazy. Just they're making faces at you. I'm just so confused why it's flashing like this.
It seemed like it stopped flashing when you start
talking.
It's the weirdest thing. Okay. Anywho, was that your complete point?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to say something. I want to say that no. I want to say that arguing is not necessarily bad. It's when you keep on arguing about the same thing with no resolution. That's where it becomes bad. Because arguing, you just both sides are just giving their points. It's kind of like a debate in a way, but like when you keep on going to the same thing and no resolution, that's where it becomes a problem. Just having, because as two people, you're gonna have disagreements on things. Like it's impossible to agree on every single thing. So you have to argue and you have to compromise. That's the most important part, is the compromise.
You know what this reminds me of, Shaddai, what you just said? It's like chore charts. When you got a group of roommates and you try to make a chore chart. No, like, listen to me real quick. You got a group of roommates and you try to make your little chore chart, right? Like, okay, this week I'm going to sweep the floor. This week you on the dishes, whatnot. It's like one of those things where if you don't communicate, okay, listen, these are what needs to be done. These are when we're going to do them. This is how we're gonna like delegate these acts. And I'm not saying that in this marriage everything needs to be delegated. That's not my point. My point is when you don't have those conversations, even though they can be hard, even though they can be angry. I'd rather have a conversation like, listen, look, here, we've outlined what we plan to do. We've like talked about it. Like, maybe you don't like dishes. You don't have to do. You don't do the dishes. I'll do the dishes. You do the counters. Something like that. But the problem with it arguing is that a lot of people they just sit there mad like, well, why ain't he done the dishes? Like, it's like all you have to do is say like, listen, can you do the dishes? And this is,
You ain't gotta be so loud. I feel like he talking to me. Like,
I'll take care of them, no worries. It's like, oh, thank you. And then now you know. Now you can, you have this like set boundary. You've had this kind of like set precedent. But a lot of people like argue because they didn't talk about, they wait till they in their feelings and they don't want to talk about it before they get in their feelings. And then you sit there yell at this other person because they don't know why you in your feelings. It's like, but I really don't understand where this came from.
Where it came from is Sabrina's triggered spot because she's very triggered right now.
Oh, I can't argue, so I recognize that about myself. I'm a passive aggressive. I get irritated super easily. Ooh. And it's just, I'm working on it. It's called therapy, and crystals. You know what I'm saying?
And my thing is,
and crystals
like that too. But like, it's something that I've been trying to get better at too. I've definitely been practicing more. Just being able to be direct with people. I think in the society we live in, and right now I'm talking about like Western society, like the Western idea is that you have to be kind of like indirect about everything you want. You have to be indirectly direct, because people say like being too forward makes you look bad. Like people like take things weirdly if you like are just like very, very like blunt about what you need. And I'm not saying blunt in a disrespectful way, but if you're just very matter of fact, like, hey, listen, this is the direct comment I have, this is what I need done. Most people are like, well, I mean, it would be helpful if you did this thing. It's like, it would be nice if you did the dishes for me instead of just being saying like, can you go do the dishes?
See, no, I would say I'm direct, but I'm passive aggressively direct. You don't see all them dishes in there.
So you guys found dishes there? Are you gonna clean them?
Thank you. Like, anyway, next. Who next?
So are you going to get it done or not? What's the file?
But even with that,
I got one more thing
like,
to say.
do the dishes or not?
What?
So when Brett was in like the confessional thing, it was saying that you have to accept your flaws or someone else's flaws to move past them. And so my question is, do you think he's trying to do that?
Ooh.
And no.
Nah.
And why not?
Negatory.
He Brett.
He's Brett. Like,
Oh my god.
Nonchalant, passive.
With respect to your question, Stefan, with respect to your question, I will say no, and here's why I would say that.
Keep it less than 1 minute.
Yes. Brett has a problem to where he expects things out of people he's not willing to give himself. And that's
the point.
A large part of the problem that I have with Brett. He expects Christina, not Christina, my bad. He expects Olivia to handle him in a certain kind of way that he's not willing to do back to
handle her. That was a word.
That was a good point.
That was a word. Because they both be kind of getting irritated with each other. They're both kind of nitpicky. And it's like they both want the other person not to be nitpicky and easily irritated.
Yeah. And they both take what each other say in the wrong way.
Yes, that part. So I'm gonna wrap this on last question. How do you guys think this is the first time COVID has been mentioned on the show? And they said that they're going to be quarantined for 6 weeks, and it's already a month. So this is going to be a much longer time frame than the usual 8-week experiment. So how do you think the coronavirus and quarantine is going to affect the couples as a whole? We're not going to break it down because we'll talk about that more in next episode. but as a whole.
Well, Brett will be happy because he'll get to spend less money because he doesn't have to go anywhere.
And Olivia will be unhappy because she just wants to make his pockets hurt.
Make his pockets hurt.
You know you want to spend.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know how their mental health's gonna be because that, especially the more social ones like Olivia and like Woody and stuff, they gonna be like, stay home.
It's gonna be a whole mess. Everybody breaking up. They might get back together, but everybody breaking up.
Everybody arguing because everybody is going to be irritated.
What happened?
So I was distracted. Because Olivia's a nurse, so I was wondering how that's gonna play into the whole coronavirus thing. Because she's gonna be an essential worker, and she out here.
Amelia's also.
She's gonna be being an essential worker, and Brett is gonna be working her nurse.
She's gonna be even more exhausted too, and that you tired, you irritable. You don't want to be bothered. Brett sarcastic. It's gonna be a whole mess. Everybody breaking up.
Also,
And I know Liz
starts medical school soon, right?
Yeah, it might be postponed if I don't know how that was gonna work.
Zoom University.
Yep.
Is a residency still? Isn't that when you actually like are working at the hospital though?
Yes.
So that's why I was like,
before you get your license, but after.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, I don't know how that would work.
Ooh, never mind.
You know what? On this note, shout out to all y'all who went med school and nursing school and dentistry school and pharmacy school and all that. In a pandemic, you know what? Hats off to you, because you know what? I could never. So you know what I won't be doing? That.
I can go my class. I have 4 classes and I'm over here like, this online school thing is not it.
It's not it. Okay, it's not it. Well, Sharif, do you have any last words since this is your birthday headquarter call?
Birthday.
I would just like to remind y'all that we like to be where the Negroes are on this here channel. So if you would like to be where the Negroes are too, I need y'all to make that like button turn blue.
Yes!
If you don't know what Sharif is talking about, make sure to watch our first edition of our sibling tag video where we talked about being where the Negroes are, okay?
Awesome.
We ain't edited it yet.
My cash app will be in the bio. If y'all want to give me a little something, I would greatly appreciate it. My cash app will be down below.
Well, thank you guys for coming to another episode of Tit Talk. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you let someone know about this amazing content. And we will see you at our next video.
Bye-bye, y'all.